Welcome back to the Pacific East Coast Model Railway. It's New Year's Day, first day of 2024, and Brisbane and sunny Queensland didn't live up to their reputation, so it's quite wet. My wife decided not to go to the tennis, and I decided to do another model train video. So we're following on from the previous two, where we've got a train, we've got locomotive 210 bringing around to Churchhill, and there's the church on the hill behind, bringing around the carriages, the wagons that were misdirected to the junction yesterday, or the day before, or last year sometime. Okay, first of all we're going to uncouple the caboose, and I haven't got my Pixter today. I've got a bamboo skewer and it's not working anywhere near as reliably as the Pixter. So there's always an alternative way of uncoupling, and you'll see that demonstrated here. Yes, the 5-fingered uncouple. Okay, we're going to pull forward, and the load of sawn timber is there, but you'll notice the brewery over on the left with the big chimney already has a boxcar there. I think that's one of my earliest boxcars, a Bullfrog beer boxcar. So it's probably full of beer ready to depart, so we'll have to take that one out first, and put it on, couple it up to the caboose. The strange looking yellow car, as those of you who've been following along will know, is the speedometer car. That's going to have to go back on the train. And the 3-dome tank car will be heading off to down the Quarry branch shortly. We'll have to drop that off down near the quarry there after some fuel for the machinery down there. But first let's get this boxcar coupled onto the back of the caboose, onto the front of the caboose, and then we can put our flat car of sawn timber back in the brewery siding. There's not much room there, and the quarry is down behind us from that camera angle. From the overbridge, there's no overbridge, on the tripod off my camera looking towards Churchhill station. You can see the passenger train still there. There's a magnetic uncoupler under the track here. It's an electromagnet, and there we go. It worked that time. Doesn't always work. I've got to standardise on the brand of couplers as well as the type of couplers I've got. Some of the plastic couplers don't uncouple as well as the metal ones. We leave our Bullfrog beer boxcar next to the caboose. Come forward. This, the points that the train's travelling over now are remote control. You press button. There's a servo motor underneath this one. Being a mainline point or a loop line point, you can't have people fiddling around with it. You can see me pressing the button for the electromagnet, hopefully working. And we'll push our back car of sawn timber. They must be doing some improvements at the brewery. It's not often they get sawn timber. We'll drop that one off there. On the right here you can see a concrete wall that's fallen down at places. It's the staging area, sometimes called the port. I've only got 2 staging tracks, so I can hide 2 trains under there, and when they've done their bit for operations they get to hide back under there. There's already 2 trains in there, so one of them has to come out. So one of these other trains, such as the passenger train in the station, this train that I'm shunting now, or remember old 238, which is around at the junction at the moment. You can see the electromagnet didn't work that time. The yellow gondola car has got plastic couplers. We'll couple it onto the drain, and then we've got a little bit of room so we can juggle around the 3-dome tank car. Now, once again we'll be performing a runaround operation because the tank car needs to be in front of this diesel, not behind it. So you'll see how we accomplished that. I had to put in a runaround track on the branch line to the quarry. Quarry's only got 2 sidings, one for loads and one for empties, and at the moment it also has its own little locomotive, but we're not using it today. You see, I'm having a job trying to get the uncoupling ramp to work, and I didn't need to because we're going to keep the dome car coupled until we get down to these 2 tracks just on the left in the foreground, or one of them anyhow. You can see I haven't really finished the track work there. There's sleepers missing, ballast missing, and a rather large paintbrush, and I think that's the file sitting beside the track. Yeah, 210 will come into this little very short runaround track. It's only suitable for 1 or 2 wagons, not for a long train, but we can't get a long train into the branch. You can see there's the quarry branch going off to the rock quarry on the right, and there's our locomotive taking the tank car down there. What I figured out was that I had to remove the boxcar that's down there. I think it's a Gorian defeated boxcar. I just have to change the points to get into the right siding there. I have to pull that one out in order to be able to put the 3-dome tank car in there because the other track there is occupied. Just at this point here where the dome tank car is and locomotive, there's going to be a little stockyard there for the cattle cars. You'll be able to drop a cattle car off there and load it with some cattle. So we come back here. We could have left the dome tank car here originally, but it went for a bit of a ride down to the quarry and back. I've got a slightly bigger skewer to try this time, and yes, it worked. These points on the branch line are just manually operated. They're remote operated, but manually. It's just a lever and a button to, not a button to press, but a lever to pull on the front of the panel. Saves my hand going in. Here we see, as I said, it's only a very short run around track. The mainline signal is still red because the caboose is sitting in the passing loop, and the main line has got a passenger train on it. Now we can run around this tank car and we can push it back down to the quarry. Those of you who may be Doctor Who fans might notice a TARDIS sitting up on the Wineglass Ridge. Wineglass Ridge is the zig of the zigzag railway. So named because I had an accident with a wine glass when I was setting it up. If you look back through my videos, you might see that video. You can see 210 pushing the tank back into the quarry siding. In the background you can see the bridge on the treetops zigzag line Treetops is off to the right. Not sure what colour to paint the stock yard, or how do I do it? Here's a close-up. That's all that's at the quarry. Bit of livestock on the farm on the ridge there, and then this part here yet to be scenic. Now as we come back, we'll come back in behind the boxcar, the Quarry undefeated, I think it's a stock car actually, stock wagon. We can couple onto that, and then we'll be able to push back and zig back and forth to get it onto the front of our train so we can take off. Pretty simple operation this afternoon, but it takes a while. I think I might have mentioned 210, locomotive 210 doesn't have much sound, and it also doesn't have much inertia built into it, because it's mainly a shunting engine, so you might see it do a few leaps forward. Still limited to 40 kilometres an hour on the main line. It will go up to about 60. One of my locos does about 150 scale miles an hour, but we never run at that speed. I did mention the other day I wasn't sure it was a half a mile or half a kilometre around on the layout. Oh, there goes the passenger train. The advantage of digital control, you can have more than one train running at once, so long as you keep an eye on them. Forgot what I was saying. At any rate, meant to cut that bit out. You weren't meant to see that. In my thoughts and all today, did a little bit of manual coupling there. On the curve piece, no couplers really work well on the curve. So 210 is off, heading. It'll probably do a full lap and end up out at the port now. Thought I'd show you my main control panel. You can see there's lots of toggle switches. They change the points. Some of them have got a little light to indicate which track that switch is indicating. So we've got green and red lights. This is the diagrammatical form of the junction, and down that end is treetops and the staging area. Here's the town. It's both the junction and Churchhill. There's a shop that's made for my wife Barbara's quilting and fabric. Some of you who know Brisbane from the 60s and 70s might recognise that Holden in the background and the fella next to it. This Holden here is one my dad had, an old FE, tan and white. Some better days. And down here, my grandson, his nickname is Doodle. He's got a corner shop. Over there's the brewery. Someone left the outside light on. You can see a Nissan hut in the background. And over here is the church for which Churchhill is named, and my friend Carol Bushell was very impressed I'd put her sign up for her. My son has a engineering works there, Philip Jones. And this is the main street of town. Thanks for watching.